Hello, my beautiful sisters. Welcome to Startup Herpreneurs. And today we have Jennifer Grace with day one of getting unstuck in business here. So Jennifer Grace, a little bit about her. She used to be a Hay House published, well, she is for that matter, a Hay House published author with Directing Your Destiny. She's the #1 life coach in South Florida, and she is a radio show host. She's been teaching me Clarity Catalyst, which now I am like a huge fan of, and now she's teaching something called Conscious Influencers Academy. So I'm really happy to have her here, and I really want her to tell you a little bit about her background in business. So Jen, whenever you're ready, hon.
So my background in business started 20-something years ago. I was on Wall Street for 8 years in investment banking, and that was not fulfilling after a while. And I went on this journey to really find what I was supposed to be doing in the world. And I was a serial entrepreneur. I went ahead and started 6 companies, 6 logos, 6 websites, and had 6 failures, because I was doing them all at the exact same time. But from those failures, I learned so much wisdom about not only what to do, but really more about what not to do. And what I was doing at that time was I was listening to what everybody else thought that I would be great at. And I wasn't really listening to myself and my own intuition. And when I went through the Clarity Catalyst that you teach and I teach as a student 10 years ago, I just popped. And I finally realized that my true calling was to inspire others, to lift other people high and help them find their purpose. And for the last 10 years, I really just haven't looked back. I think where a lot of people struggle is they're really good at their business, but they're not always as good at promoting and marketing their business. And over the last 10 years, I have really cultivated the art of that. And it's so much fun for me. So
that's amazing. It's beautiful. And I know that a part of the Clarity Catalyst, which I totally get your whole 10 years not looking back thing, because I felt the exact same way when I took Clarity Catalyst. That's amazing. And a part of that Clarity Catalyst is the 6 stages of the creative process. And I know the main purpose of that is to go from idea to implementation. There's no way I could have done a summit without telling people about these 6 stages and really going into it. And who better than, my mentor. So can you them a little bit and tell them why it's important?
Absolutely. And when I learned this, especially as an entrepreneur, it was so awe-inspiring for me. Like I kind of knew it intrinsically, but because I didn't have a visual of it and I didn't know the stages of it, I wasn't able to track my process from idea to reality. And when I learned this, it gave me a map. So what it is that it's not great idea success. People might look at me and go, oh, wow, Jen, you wrote a book and you were successful. Or you have this thriving give back retreat company and you wanted to travel the world and you went from A to B. So that's actually a myth. The true creative process is 6 stages. So stage 1 is to have your great idea. It could be a great idea for your project, to write a book, to launch a business, whatever that is. You have this great idea. Stage 2 is you will hit the brick wall of frustration. So 99.999% of the time, after you have a great idea, you will hit the brick wall of frustration. And when people don't know that this is part of the process, they feel like they've failed and they pack up their bags and they go home. So knowing that hitting the brick wall of frustration is part of it, the first thing that you get to do is pat yourself on the back and say, wow, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And then you want to let go of expectations, letting go of how you thought it was all going to go down, because it's obviously just blown up in your face. You do want to let go of the how, but you want to hold on to the what. And the what is your creative idea. You want to have faith in your creativity. The other thing you want to let go is judgment. of yourself, of others. This is a great place when you hit the brick wall of frustration that you could just go right into beating yourself up, going, oh, it's so stupid, and the money fell through, and I'm such an idiot for trusting, or, you know, oh, my book was rejected by this publisher, and now I'm just going to throw it in the garbage. So letting go of expectation, letting go of judgment, and holding on to your creative vision is what you want to do when you hit the brick wall of frustration, stage 2. Stage 3 is incubation, where you take your great idea and you put it on the back burner and you incubate it instead of throwing it in the garbage. You know, a lot of times the timing isn't right. You know, the market isn't at the right stage for an idea to come forth. So you want to percolate it, put it on the back burner, let it simmer. That's stage 3, incubation. That also gives you a moment to breathe, get over the disappointment because whatever you were trying to do failed, right? Which it's okay. And when you put it on the back burner, you let it percolate, you let yourself relax. And then when you feel that surge to bring it up back into the world, then you go into stage 4, which is strategizing. There are 3 ways that you can strategize. Number 1 is using your noggin, brainstorming, getting an ally, somebody who's been there, done that, so that they can really collaborate with you and help you and tell you, listen, I've been there, done that, and here's what to do and what not to do. Or even getting a group of friends to do a mastermind with you. You know, having everybody ask you a question after you let them know where you're stuck with your project, and then having everyone circle around again and give you some valuable feedback and some ideas. You know, often when I'm stuck with something, I'll have a dinner, you know, and I'll invite all of my friends that, you know, somebody who's really great at marketing, or this person's good at business, and this person's got connections here. And I'll work with my allies to help me think tank how to get unstuck. Then you will also be able to use a strategy of spirituality, you know, whatever that is for you, whether that's prayer, meditation, journaling, listening to your dreams, your inner guides, you know, doing that inward work to get that new kind of download of how to get over the brick wall of frustration. Or you can do something physical. You know, sometimes when we're racking our brains so much for like, oh, how am I going to get over this brick wall, or what's going to be the name, or how should I redo this project? Just by going for a run or doing a yoga class, actually like not trying to think about it, doing something else entirely, getting your brain off of something, and it just gives it space for creativity to come forth. And then you've got that stage 5 will come when you have the aha, you know, you've got it, you know how to get over that brick wall of frustration. And then you reach stage 6, which is verification. And your idea is real in the world. It's testable. The book is on the shelf. The business is launched. You know, it's happened. So those are the 6 stages of the creative process.
That's amazing. So I know a lot of people that are in the idea. So that means they're probably in the preparation or the frustration, for that matter, if it hasn't happened, right? And then the the aha moment or the illumination, right? So one of perfect. So one of my goals in this summit is actually to get everyone through that process. And the big part of the summit is strategy. So what Jen was talking about when it comes to that intellect or that physical or that spiritual, we're creating a Facebook group here so we can have that think tank where we'll have business people and marketing. So that's amazing. And I know I'm on the right track. So thank you for that. Now, for those that are stuck somewhere and they're just having problems probably with procrastination, or they think they're lazy and they're having this kind of mindset, what do you recommend to them?
Well, I think it's really important to first have self-awareness of how you're procrastinating, right? So there are 3 ways that we procrastinate. The first way is we just get stuck, and we are so overwhelmed with fear. The very thought of our big vision has us feel paralyzed. The second way is we are spun. We're spinning in so many different directions. We're starting a million projects and finishing none. That's what I did with my 6 companies. Yes. Or we are stalling, right? We sit down at the computer and we've created this tool 2-hour block to really work on our business. And we sit down and all of a sudden we go, I have to pee. And then we go pee and we come back and then we're like, ding. Oh, let me just check that email. And the next thing you know, we're on Facebook and we're lost into the Mac hole and the entire hour has gone by and we've done absolutely nothing. Or we do everything on our to-do list except the one thing that's going to move us forward in our business. Or even worse, we do everything for everybody else, which is something that a lot of women tend to do, is they're givers and they, take care of their partner and their kids and their friends and their family, and they give, and then they're exhausted and there's no time for them to work on their business. So it's great to kind of call yourself out and first notice, am I stopped? Am I spinning? Or am I stalling? And there are great antidotes for those three things. So if you are feeling stopped, you're so overwhelmed, so you're probably facing fear. And what I say to my students is, ask yourself, what's the worst that will happen if you fail? Write that down in your journal. It might come things out like, oh my God, I'll lose money, or people will laugh at me, I'll look stupid, just journal like all the fears that you have about failing. And then ask yourself, can I handle that? Now, I didn't say, would you like it? I said, can you handle it? Yeah, I can handle it. And then if I don't fail, what's the best that could happen if I don't fail? Well, I could have a thriving business. I can make a difference in the lives of others. I can create freedom and abundance for myself and my family. So being a true leader, it's about stepping up with heart beating, hands sweating, and in the face of rejection, possible rejection, in the face of failure, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And I think that's a lot of the work that you and I do. That foundational work is to cultivate courage, and self-esteem and self-confidence to be able to handle failures. I mean, I had 6 failures. I never gave up. I submitted my book to Hay House the first time, rejected. I still didn't give up. And that's why I'm where I am 10 years later, successful in my field, because I did not care if I failed. I didn't care if I looked stupid. I didn't care if I lost money, because I believed in myself. I believed in my message, and I knew that part of the creative process, that failure is part of the creative process. And I took each of those failures and I learned great things from them. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to be wrong, to fall flat on your face, because you know what? If you fall flat on your face, at least you're moving forward. Most people stand right in the sidelines and they watch everybody else succeed, and they're too afraid to fail, and they get to their end of their lives and they never even went for it. And that's true regret. Also, people have the fear of success. That comes up when you feel really overwhelmed. You're afraid you're going to succeed. And people's conversations about success are, I'll have too much responsibility, or I'll be superseding my friends and family, and I'll be ostracized because I'll be so successful and they won't be. You know what I say to my students? I go, let that be your problem. That you're so freaking successful that nobody wants to hang out with you. And at that point, you can fire up your G6 and take them all to Tahiti. They'll be fine. Yeah. And the more success I have, the less responsibility that I have. I have a full-time assistant, Jessica, who works 40 hours a week for me. I have a business manager. I have a social media expert. I have copy people. I have a PR person. Like, I don't do Shinola. I'm like, what time's the thing? And you guys are sending me, and I just kind of show up, and all I have to do is me now. I don't do any logistics, no, nothing in the business, nothing in the admin, nothing. I just get to show up. And that's from success. So I have zero responsibility. I used to wear every single hat. I was the assistant. I was the PR person. I was the social media person. I was the back end business. I was cutting the checks. I have one hat now, coach. That's it.
That's amazing.
So now going on to the spinners, starting a million projects and finishing none. And it's the person, the creative, right? You're so talented, Jocelyn. You're so creative. I'm so creative. And we just want to be fully expressed in all of these creative areas. And that's a real setup for failure as well. So ride one horse. And once that horse is off and running on its own, then you get on another horse, you know. And I wanted to be an actress and a writer, and I wanted to be a philanthropist and photography and coaching and all of that stuff. And I had to put it all up on the shelf, just focus on the coaching. And then eventually I'm like, okay, the writer wants to write. I wrote a book. The actress wants to play. Okay, so I made the Jennifer Grace show. I got the radio show. Okay, the philanthropist wants to play. I started a retreat company and gave back, but it was all under the umbrella of being a personal development coach. So it made sense in my brand, and I stopped trying to do a million things all at the same time. So ride one horse.
So to be clear really quickly, let me just make sure that I got that one. So you had like this acting, and you had an acting, like you were being a director, right? You were doing screenwrites and all that jazz.
Yeah, I had a film company.
Yeah, so you had a film company, and then you were a coach, and then you had a bunch of other stuff, and that's where your 6 businesses and 6 logos came from. And then you decided, okay, well, what's the one? Well, the one is coach, and then you created this umbrella first, and you're like, okay, I'll be here. And then you're like, okay, well, I still have acting, and I still have all these things that I like to do, and I still have all my creative actions and my past, for that matter, coming up. So let me figure out how I'm going to make, like a radio show host, ding. Now you can, get to be a little actor on it, how to write a book, ding. So that's what you did, right?
Exactly. But it all wasn't like not doing Target commercials, and I'm not, writing about cooking, and I'm not doing a cervical cancer philanthropy and doing a photography management company. Now, the book is about personal development. The radio show is about personal development. The philanthropy is about personal development. And the photography is on the personal development retreats.
Yeah, perfect.
So they had the same thread now, and they made sense under the same umbrella.
Now, to be clear, you didn't start doing all of those things at once under.
No, I did one at a time. Cool. Yes.
Perfect. All right, so we got stuck, and we got spinning, and the last one is
stalling. Right. So I always have my students, when they're doing, the action journey with me, to do an hour or 2 a day is your block. Right? That you're going to work on your project. You're going to work on your business. So say it's every day from whatever. I used to wake up at 5:30 to 6:30 a.m. I had my writer's block in the morning. Not writer's block, but my block of time for writing my author hours, right? So I know myself, and I know that I'm a staller, like everybody. Like, who isn't all of these things? Right? We're all of them. And I would handle my self-sabotager before I would sit down to write. So I would pee first, get a drink of water. I'd switch to the laundry. I would turn off the computer. I would turn off the phone. I would set a timer for 1 hour. I would put a Post-it up that said, your ass is not getting out of this chair until the timer goes off. And I would just myself like twitch, like, let me go. No. No. And I tell people, if you're not doing it in the wee hours in the morning when everybody's sleeping, I did it before my son got up, where I wasn't going to be distracted by life and calls and clients. But if you don't have that in you to wake up that early, and you want to do it at a later time, remove yourself out of your home or your workspace where somebody could come in and distract you. And Starbucks could work, although that can be very distracting. Like, go to the library. It's free. Go work at the library.
And the library's quiet, so I like that. All right, so we have
very quiet.
3 procrastinations, which is stuck, staying, and stalled. We talked about the 6 stages of the creative process: preparation, frustration, incubation, strategy, illumination, and verification. And we've gone through it all. Is there anything else that you feel is missing that women need to know in general before they're starting their business or just feeling stuck somewhere along the way?
I mean, there's a million things, but I think the mindset work is so foundational. I mean, of course, there's like, and I'm sure you're going to be bringing on people and experts that are going to talk about niche marketing and how to package your products and, you know, how to know your market and all that stuff, right? But before you even start any of that, you know, if you are not loving, respecting, and trusting yourself, nothing's going to work, because it's not what you're doing. You could be doing and doing and doing and crossing everything off your to-do list. It's not doing it to your being. And if you're being, I'm not good enough. If you're being, I don't deserve. If you're being, I'm unworthy. The world feels that. That's energy, right? And so first and foremost, you know, as the source of a successful business, we've got to get ourselves right. And that's a combination of being mindful and taking time out every day to balance yourself, you know, to have a daily practice of 5 minutes of journaling, 10 minutes of meditation, you know, taking time alone in nature for contemplation, going on a beach walk, park. You know, if you don't do those foundational practices that not only center and balance you, but also give you a direct download to your intuitive voice, you're going to be a hot mess. You know, you show up frazzled and late and unbalanced. Nobody wants to work with that. You know, so it's our job to really cultivate self-mastery and imagine that this is your instrument. You know, your mind, your body is your instrument. So it's so imperative that you take time every day, you know, to slow down, to breathe, to journal, to meditate, and do acts of kindness and be gentle towards yourself. I also think surrounding yourself with other women that hold you high, that support you, that hold you accountable, that encourage you. I just read an article. It was so interesting. It was like talking about women leaders. The most successful women leaders had a close-knit group, a support network. They had other women that they, you know, worked with, tribed with, mastermind with. Like, the most successful people had that, because we can't do it alone. We think we can do it alone. And number one, that's boring. Number two is exhausting. And number three, we need allies. We get to support each other and lean on each other and, you know, really hold each other high. That's what's going to give you success. I think behind every successful woman is her tribe.
Definitely. You made me extremely happy right now because I know I'm on track. Because not only it's day 2, I have Nancy Levin coming in.
Nancy, I love Nancy.
So
Tell her I said hi.
yeah, I will. And she's going to talk about self-worth and your net worth and your new relationship blueprint. So she's going to go all into self-love. So I'm super excited about that. And we do have the Facebook group. So I'm on track. Hey. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, please do. And Jen, I know that you're all about journaling, meditation, mindfulness, and really thank you for bringing that up because I'm huge on that too. And I love just being able to embrace that. Now, for our one action step, I know you're all about intentions. So I would love for you to help us create an intention for this summit and just for the rest of the next month for that matter. So do your thing. I know you've got this in the bag.
Well, I also think when people begin a journey, sometimes they put their comfort over their commitment. And an exercise in having a breakthrough in your success in business is having a breakthrough in being committed to your commitments.
Beautiful.
And so if you're signing up for this journey and you've made the commitment, watch all the videos. Participate 100%. And the days that you don't feel it, like put your commitment over your comfort. You know, I'm committed to my commitments because I know that's going to bring me peace, joy, and abundance, like over everything else. And it's like, how many times do people start programs and they don't finish them? You know, they get all excited to do a 21-day journey or a summit, and they get in day 3, and they're gone. So who do you get to be to show up to this program every single day and really do 100% participation? The information and the lineup, and I know some other people that you've invited to this, is stellar. I mean, you're bringing in the best of the best. And if your, participants really want to have a breakthrough, not only in their businesses, but in themselves, they get to be committed to their commitments and put their commitment before their comfort. So my intention is that everybody starts and finishes together as one, as a group, and the people have breakthrough in overcoming their procrastination, their hesitation, and they really, really move past all of that stuff.
Amazing. I have like shivers. I'm like here like with goosebumps. That was beyond the beyond. And I didn't expect you to say that. And I really appreciate that. Not only for everyone listening, but also for me. Like, it's amazing to know that everything is happening exactly where it's supposed to be. Everything happens for a reason. And I just knew I had to make you day one. So I'm super happy to have you. Now, before I let you go though, I do know that you have a free gift for everybody. So can you talk a little bit about what free gift is? My favorite part.
Yes. So I'm going to be giving away a resource list all about getting unstuck in business. So a lot of the stuff that we talked about will be in here. There'll also be a mind map in there. A prescription for the journaling and the meditation will be in there. An audio for meditation will be in there. Like, it's just the day one, set you up for amazing success for this entire journey with you.
That's amazing. And I know that just to let you girls know, when it comes to these free gifts, you get to decide if you want to move forward with them or not. But really, it's soul work. It's not homework. It's not something for you to be like, oh, I have to do. No, it's definitely soul work for you to move forward in your life and in your business for that matter. So trust me, I've actually seen what Jennifer Grace was talking about when it comes to Unstuck, and she added extra stuff that she hasn't before just for you girls. I'm super excited, and thank you, Jen, and I've really appreciated this journey with you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Have an amazing journey, everybody.
Bye, ladies. I will see you tomorrow.